Are you new to the Commander format, looking to build your first Magic deck? Maybe you're struggling with mana flooding, getting stuck in top deck mode, or are simply unable to recover from a board wipe. We are your illustrious host, Kaiser, and today we are going to show you 7 easy steps to craft your next favorite EDH deck. No matter the deck, you're gonna need lands. Our preferred number to start with is 35. Decks that specialize in lands may want more, while quicker decks with a lot of low-cost spells can do with less. Going forward, we want to say that these numbers are general, and will need to be tweaked through testing in your personal metas. Now, when you have your basics, if you're playing multicolor, you will need to decide which dual lands and fetches you wish to run, if any. Dual lands are mostly for color fixing, and fetched lands can be sacrificed to tutor for specific land cards. While you can get away with only basics in a 1 or 2 color deck, duals and fetches become more and more effective the more colors the deck has. Utility lands do more than simply tap for mana. These are meant to accentuate your deck's theme, keeping your plays potent and repeatable. They can be game enders, combo enablers, or an engine, all while avoiding most forms of removal, making them key to many a deck's success. There is no quicker way to fall behind in the Commander format than by resolving only one mana source a turn. To remedy this, we recommend 10 to 15 accelerators in every deck. Ramp spells, named after rampant growth, are the best tool green has hands down. While the other colors cannot put lands from their deck into play as easily as green can, every color has access to mana-producing artifacts. These come in many forms, from the rocks that produce colored mana to cost reduction artifacts, and even massive mana rocks for slower decks to utilize. Some decks may even have space for mana-producing creatures or effects that make mana-producing creatures. As of late, treasure tokens have become very popular as a greenless mana generator. We want to note that while big mana artifacts fit under this category, mana doublers would count towards the miscellaneous category we will go over shortly, given that we feel that a spell has to resolve before your commander to be considered an accelerant. Drawing cards is the best way to ensure that you have something to do all game. To keep your hand as full as possible, we recommend 5 to 10 draw effects no matter the deck. Some blue decks may need more, and that's fine, but no deck should ever have less than 5. And 5 is only acceptable if your commander also can draw cards. Oh, and for the sake of counting, if your deck is meant to mill itself, then we would count mill spells under draw spells. And if you ever happen to go over the upper limit of a count, you can always pull numbers from the miscellaneous category as needed. Draw effects exist in all colors and should be implemented in all stages of the game. You will need small draws, like Night's Whisper, Secret Rendezvous, and Harmonize. These keep you active in the early game and allow you to dig a bit to set up bigger plays in the mid to late game. You also need big draw, spells like Pull from Tomorrow, Rishkar's Expertise, and Reforge the Soul, to keep your hand full in the mid to late game, which ups your chances of winning Wars of Attrition. Repeatable draw effects also allow you to continually draw cards throughout the game, which can easily get out of control if you have no maximum hand size. Removal effects that take something away from your opponent require 5 to 10 slots in your deck. These include, but are not limited to, spot removal. These exile, bounce, or destroy a single card. Board wipes, which destroy all of a permanent type in play, be it creatures, artifacts, or even enchantments. Some can even destroy non-land permanents, and some still can break lands. But don't do that unless you intend to win the same turn. There are also conditional board wipes, which allow you to destroy a specific kind of permanent among the permanent type. These each destroy creatures, but each a different and specific kind of creature. Let us just say you only need to run board wipes that help you. If you run creatures, maybe avoid wraths and lead into austere command. We also feel this category should include counter spells. We already made a video going into removal on our channel, so if you want more information on it, go check that out. Also, like, comment, and subscribe since we're here. After all, the algorithm requires engagement. For most decks, even small amounts of recursion is enough not to get blown out of the water by a single removal spell. We say decks should have anywhere between 3 to 7 recursion spells. Decks with access to reanimation may want more, but decks that aren't hyper-focused on recasting the same combo pieces won't need tons. Recursion effects vary, but they all return something from your graveyard to either the field, your hand, or your library. Effects that return cards to your battlefield are also called reanimation spells, but we already made a video going into Reanimator on our channel, so feel free to check it out. And while you're there, effects that return cards to your hand or recollects are powerful effects, which can mitigate the one-to-one nature of magic. These effects can also chain recursions, which makes playing from your graveyard quite easy. Then there are the spells that return cards from your grave to your library. Some effects shuffle multiple cards back, like Perpetual Timepiece, while creatures with similar text boxes to Barkform Harvester put the cards on the bottom in any order. Then there are the Grave Purge effects that put creatures specifically from your graveyard on top of your library. These are all good, but limited in the kinds of cards they can recur, so remember to find which suits your deck style the best. Win conditions are effects that, if allowed to resolve, will result in your victory. Some decks need more, and some need less, but try to keep these between 3 to 7. There are many cards that simply state yada yada you win the game, and while these do count towards this category, they are simply the tip of the iceberg. Overrun type effects that pump your board are win cons to decks that go wide, while assembling combo pieces to hit lethal storm count is a win con in control heavy decks. This section should include things that turn your resources into loss of life for your opponents. Impact triggers, Sanguine Bond, and Thassa's Oracle all fall into this category, given that they can resolve or as you do your deck's general gimmick, and their presence results in your win. A win con, however, is not to be mistaken for a win more card. A win more card is a finisher that only works if you already have a substantial lead. But if you aren't, then it becomes basically useless. Our best example of this is Giant Ataphage, a 7/7 with trample for 7 that makes a copy of itself when it connects. Once seemed like a good token deck game ender to us, but as we learned, if you're in a position to resolve this, expect it to survive the turn cycle, and then are confident you'll be able to swing in to make the token and do it again, then you have to be in a very good position in the game already. Now conversely, say you can't keep big creatures on board, or you're against someone with a bigger creature, or one of the many other things that can impede a single creature attacking. Then this big 7/7 with trample for 7 is just a chump blocker. The trick we've learned is to ensure that it is always multi-use. Reflect upon the differences of Goblin Bombardment, a win con, and Chiron Negotiations, a win more card. Here we have the miscellaneous category, where all the chaff goes. We recommend starting with 15 cards here, but feel free to take from this category first when any other feels lacking. These cards are general strategies, pet cards, good stuff, and staples. Starting from the bottom, staples are cards that are useful generally in most decks. Note, Sol Ring is a staple, but more importantly it's an acceleration piece, which is why it belongs in ramp. This section is for unrelated but potent effects, like Ink Shield, Heroic Intervention, or Roiling Vortex. Good stuff refers to cards that don't mesh with your deck's general vibe, but are still effective. You don't need to run a token-centered deck to utilize Avenger of Zendikar, as an example. Pet cards are, of course, cards we just like running. Our personal pet card is Sun Titan, so it would belong in Recursion, but we once met a man who was really attached to a random 9th edition vanilla creature, so we get it. Lastly are general strategies, or more simply, any cards that require your commander to be in play, take advantage of their effects, or directly interact with them. This includes spells like Villainous Wealth, Windcrag Siege, and Manamorphose, which serve nearly no purpose on their own, and must be included with a lot of support in mind. And that's what we've got for you. Remember, this is just the start, and that it's up to you where you take the deck from here. So hop on Scryfall and start looking for your new favorite card. If you found this video helpful, share it with your friend whose deck just needs a little more structure. We've been Rude Kaiser, who shines like the sun through doubts and fears, leaving a trace for love to find its way.